Morning. So, these are 4 windows that make up a cross for a church that I have to recreate because they have some rot and whatnot on them. So, I have to figure out how to make this curve, and I've already done a test piece to do it. So, I took this one apart. Here's the glass for it. And my pieces that I need to curve and recreate are 1 5/16 thick by 3 inches wide here. So how I need to do this is I got some veneer core plywood, which is right over here. Here's a humidor on a side note that I just got done making. And it's all Spanish cedar on the inside. And I did all the dados, 3/16 here, 3/8 on the outside. And this is a humidor for the cigar shop downtown, so it's lockers for the customers. But anyway, I needed to get 1/4 inch birch plywood, veneer core, which means it's wood on the inside too, if you can see that. And it's thick, and so it's not super flexible right now. So what I did is I planed it to just over 1/8 of an inch on my planer. And here are my pieces now. As you can tell, they're already starting to bow, and they're pretty darn flexible. If you can see that, they can bend pretty easy now without breaking or anything. So to make the 1 5/16, I need 10 plies, which is what this is, and I'll show you what I'm gonna do. Okay, here's my board that I am going to make my jig on. And I've already traced the lines of the window so we can match it perfectly. Here's the square lines. Those aren't going to be important for this part, but only to know how big I need to make it. So I'm going to make my pieces come off of here probably about another 3 or 4 inches on both sides. Okay, the next thing I did is I marked out where I'm going to have each one of my blocks sitting right up against that line. And now I'll take my drill and drill holes right in here. You're going to want to stay back at least 1 inch from the edge so your plywood doesn't split out. And I'm using on this too veneer core plywood, meaning that it's all wood on the inside. It takes screws a lot better, and yeah, much better than MDF or particle board. So if you're going to do this, choose all veneer core plywood for everything that you're using. Okay, I just drilled 2 holes for every block to sit on, one at front and one at back. And again, make sure to stay at least 1 inch or 1.5 inches from the edge of your block so it doesn't split out. Next, I'm going to be gluing on top of this, and then set my blocks on and start screwing them down. Okay, I got all my ribs put onto the piece of plywood here, and it perfectly matches the bend that I need to make. As you can see, I followed my line with each block, so that's right up on my line, and that was traced off the actual window itself. Okay, so my plies over here, these are the plies that I'm going to use on this first bend. These are 3.5 inches wide here. And you remember I said that I made each block 7 inches, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these blocks that are 3.5 inches and I'm going to stick them in every other one like this. Every other space, I guess, so that I can stick my veneer up there, or my ply, and that will be, it's kind of hard to do this with one hand, but that will make it right flush with the top, so I can clamp on top and then I can clamp underneath in the spaces that I left open. Okay, so I have all my plies and now I need to glue them. I've already glued this one on just one side. The next one I have to do on both sides. So put a whole bunch of glue on here, and we need to cover the entire surface of the wood. So every little square inch has glue on it. Doesn't have to be tons of glue, but it has to have glue on it. So everything will stick together good. I'm just using a foam brush to kind of paint it on there. And just keep going like this. After I'm done painting this glue on, I'll flip it over, put it on the one I just did, and do the other side, and go through the whole stack like that. Okay, I got it all glued and stacked. You're going to need to use about a full bottle and a quarter just for one glue up. Now I have my cellophane here. I'm going to wrap it tightly so that all the plies are together and lined up on the outside with each other. I'm going to wrap that all the way down. Fairly snugly, so everything is sitting at the same level. And so I'm not going to make a big huge mess on my new jig that I created, because I need to use it another 3 times after I get this one done. I got my big stick ready. I have a couple more of my blocks kind of sitting over to the side, so my big laminate piece can rest on those as I start to clamp everything up. Okay, so we'll start like that, and we'll just start clamping away. I'll get kind of close on this end and have the excess hang out on the other end. That looks pretty good. Let's start here. Well, I'll pull it just a little bit further this way. about 1.5 inches past the end of my board, so I can cut it to size after it's done being glued up. Got a couple new clamps. I had to have them. You want to get in on my video? Come on, Sean, don't be shy.
I'm over here to help you bend that, but now my agent's not here to sign it.
To sign off on the video?
Sign off. Oh, you got this down to a science. Jeez.
Yeah, man.
Oh, my finger. And you wrapped it so
it's all one
no
unit.
glue.
But then I have to cut it so the air can get to that glue and dry it. Yeah. But I'll do that because look, it's starting to come up on that side, so I need to push it back down.
You just think if if this is successful, which you will be.
What's that?
I said, if this is successful, which you will be, you'll only have to do it 3 more times.
Exactly. This glue up took 1 1/4 bottles of glue. There's a censored content. Excuse me. A little bit of glue.
Go through them. Who'd have thought that everything you got in this, the glue is turned out to be one of the most expensive things.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, man.
Where did he go?
He just ran outside.
Trying to get away from me. And
Probably heard the boop like that. Thought somebody was at your door. Oh, you're gonna ruin the video, Sean.
huh?
You're gonna ruin the video.
You should tell him, you have to pardon it. At 4:27, there was a slight earthquake.
Yeah, name Sean came through. Yeah, I'm gonna smack this side back down. Okay, got her all glued up. Everything looks pretty good. As you can tell, I put a whole bunch of cellophane under here for when I open up the cellophane on top and bottom so it can breathe and dry. Any drips will get caught on that cellophane, and I can just go ahead and throw that away, and I'll still have a clean jig for doing the next 3. So that's what it looks like right now, and I'll go ahead and start opening up the top and bottom. Okay, just take your trusty knife and just start cutting slots in between clamps with the cellophane, because if you keep the cellophane on without cutting these dry holes, it is going to take about 800 days for this to dry. We don't have 800 days, we have 1 week to get all of this done, so need to get this drying quickly. I don't even have a whole day to have this done, or to have this dry, because I need to make a lot more stuff for these windows. Okay, I got the tops and bottoms opened up. You can see all that glue is dripping out of there now. So good thing I put the cellophane down so it's not gonna stick to my jig. or the ribs of my jig, and it's not going to get glue all over the bottom of the jig. So everything will be clean tomorrow morning when I take it all off of here and start the next one. Well, it's morning time, and I guess we'll see how everything fared out. I'll take all these clamps off, take the cellophane off, and see how we did. Hopefully it stays right where it's at until I move it. Yeah, I made a curved arch piece. Okay, as you can see, because I put the cellophane on, I didn't get any glue on either face of my board. It's all just on the ends. And then since I put the cellophane down on here, all of the glue was caught by the cellophane, so I still have a clean, for the most part, jig to do the rest of my things, or the rest of my bends on. And something like this isn't going to matter. I can just leave it out a little further or use another block. So that's a good reason that you use cellophane while doing this, so you can keep stuff clean and you don't have to try to break it off of the ribs. Everything just comes right apart how you want it to.